Hi, my name is Deacon Wayne Sandford. I've been ordained as a deacon since 1992, and I have served in a number of parishes. My home parish was St. Clair's. I lived across the street from St. Clair's, so that was kind of special. From St. Clair's, I went to Our Lady of Pompeii. From Pompeii, I went to St. Teresa in North Haven. And from St. Teresa, North Haven, now I'm back here at the combined parishes, St. Pio of Petrolacina. So as a deacon, you probably see me at various masses. I help, obviously, at masses, whoever the priest is. But you know, a deacon does a lot more than just serve at Mass. That's probably the smallest area that I actually do, but it's the most visible one. One of the other things I'm allowed to do is I work with my wife, Christine, and together we do all of the wedding preps here at St. Pio. And surprisingly, the number of people getting married in the church is on the increase. We're quite excited about that. We used to do about 7 or 8 a year. This year in 2025, we're doing 17 weddings. So that's kind of a large increase. And we sit down with the couples. We discuss with them things like their finances. We talk about how ready they are to get married. We talk about their religious life and how religion fits into how they hope religion fits into their family, their future family. So we spend a lot of time working with couples. Just about every couple gets about 5 or 6 hours, sometimes 10 hours with us before they actually are allowed to get married in the church. In addition to that, I run a men's club every Saturday morning at 7:30. It's run at St. Vincent de Paul. We have about 10 or 12 men that come every Saturday morning. Many of them bring their own coffee and their own donuts, but we get together. We do a little Bible study on the readings that are coming up that weekend, that Sunday. And sometimes we meander and talk about other things, but generally it's really about the readings that are going on that particular week. And it allows us to get a better understanding of the readings before Sunday comes around, or Saturday evening and you go to Mass. That's one of the other things I do, and that's a great joy, working with other men to do that. I also do, you probably, if you've been to a wake or a funeral lately, you'll probably see myself or one of the other deacons or Pat, and we come in and we do the wake services. And if asked, I'll do the Mass with Father, and then also the committal at the cemetery. So we do that as well. It takes, it's a little bit of time, as I find it a little bit stressful doing that kind of role, but it's something that's important, and we do that as well. So being a deacon in the Archdiocese of Hartford requires us to maintain our skills. So once a year I go away on a retreat with other deacons. And usually there's one time a year I go away with my wife, and we go to a regional deacons retreat. That's usually up in Massachusetts in November. We usually do that together. Last year I had the great privilege of attending the Eucharistic Conference, which only runs once every 25 years. And last year it was Indianapolis, Indiana, and my wife and I drove out, and we went to the conference. Father Patrick, who was here at the time, organized it, and a number of people went. But my wife and I, we drove out in our motorhome and we camped nearby, and then we drove into the conference center every day. It was an unbelievable experience. The Mass at the end, if I could just describe the Mass at the end, could you imagine sitting in the Colt Stadium with 75,000 other people? The Mass begins, and there's like maybe 40 cardinals, possibly 300 priests, I'm going to say 175 seminarians and probably 300 religious women that came in to start the Mass. The procession into the Mass took 25 minutes to get everybody in place. So that's, you know, some of the things we do as a deacon. Not only do we help other people in their spiritual life, we're the bridge between the priest and you, the laity. It's important for us to maintain our own spiritual life as well, and I think that that's an important component of being a deacon. I would just say, you know, we're so lucky here at St. Pio. There are so many opportunities for people to attend. Like I said, I run the men's group. I don't really run it. I just kind of open the door with the key and let everybody in. And we have a good time. And then there's many groups for women in our parish. So if you ever have that desire so that you want to learn more about the readings, so that you understand the readings a little bit better, it's a great way of doing it. You could just check the bulletin. It has everything in the bulletin or on our website. We're lucky. We have a lot of services that we offer our parishioners. Some people, we see once in a while wedding couples, and one of them is not, they'd be baptized, but they're no First Communion and no confirmation. And so we have a program that runs to help them receive First Communion and get confirmed. So we're here to help you. That's our role. We are here to help you, our parishioners, to develop a fuller life and a fuller understanding of Jesus Christ. So I would say in closing, God bless. See you in church.